We are on the road in Lyman, South Carolina. We are backstage at a great Roy Graves event, and with me, an old friend, Aaron Wilburn. Aaron, welcome to Gospel Music Today.
Thanks, Ken. It's been a while. Good to be back with you guys.
It's good to see you on the road again. Drove all the way from Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, yes, and I'm telling you, it's funny because when all of this happened back in March, I thought, for the first few weeks, wow, this is great. And home is an escape to go back to when you're on the road a lot. And then after about 6 months, it becomes a prison of sorts. Yeah. Because they're saying, stay in, stay in, stay in. And so what once was a place of, oh, I'm here, I can rest, out from the craziness, all of a sudden it kind of became a prison of sorts, except it had gravy and biscuits in the kitchen when I made them and other good things. So, but it's great to be back out again. Thank you.
Yeah, it is nice. We know you as a singer. We know you from the comedy in your programs. And I don't know if everybody really is aware of your career as a songwriter also. In current times, what's the ratio of performing to songwriting for you?
Well, I write all the time. If you've spent 2 or 3 consecutive hours around me, I have been writing during that time, even though it's not evident to anyone. Singing is what I do. Comedy is what I do. A songwriter is what I am.
I see. That's good.
Speaks for itself.
Yeah, that's awesome. We met you the first time quite a few years ago now at the National Quartet Convention.
In fact, that video is, the other day it came up somehow on my Facebook, and I noticed it's one of the most viewed videos that I've ever participated in.
You told the story of writing 4 days late.
Yes.
And a wonderful story. But I want to go back to that to ask you the difference between songwriting back then and how long ago did you write that song?
20 years. That song is Karen's anniversary of recording the song. It has been this year, 20 years ago, and the song had been written about 4 years before that. So we're talking about 24 years ago.
Yeah. Now that song came to you based on incidents in your life, your own personal experience.
Yes.
And the song developed out of that.
Right.
Songwriting is different now, isn't it?
It's hard for me to answer a lot of questions about then and now without sounding critical. Songwriting now is, let's meet next Thursday at 10 o'clock, and the company called and they need something like cha-dun, 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 cha-dun. So we need to write something to that tempo. And there was a time when I think, for the most part, what am I trying to say? What formed the song was not the tempo from someone in the recording session or in the companies, but it was a moment with God when the bottom had dropped out of your life. And Albert E. Brumley, according to his wife, when she was living, she told me that he hated working in the fields. And so did I. We were raised cotton farmers. But he was plowing, and he stopped, and she said he told her he stopped, and he was really hot, and he wiped his brow, and he looked up and he said, one of these days I'll fly away from here. And so began I'll Fly Away.
Yeah.
Songs were born in cotton fields. They were born in the sadness of a cemetery, or sitting beside someone as we're praying for them, knowing that there is no doctor within 50 miles, and God is the only help and the only hope.
Now, Aaron Wilburn, still writing, still putting out the songs, and you were just telling me about one with one of the new groups that's become really popular.
I am so thrilled, Ken. Dad and his two sons, The Sound, that's what you need to remember, The Sound. They have recorded a phenomenal CD, and I'm so blessed that Lee Black and I wrote a song in that project entitled First Church of Mercy. And if you don't mind, I'd like to take 3 or 4 minutes to tell a background on that.
Sure.
That has not been told. We wrote the song, and in the song, the man comes into church, and he isn't sober. And he sits down, and he's asked to leave. And in the original version, he was told, "Come back when you're sober." And his answer to the usher was, "If I was sober, I wouldn't need to be here."
Yeah.
This song is very close to me, as you can probably tell. I'll try to gain my composure. The next Sunday was Father's Day. My daughter, instead of going to her church, where she's one of the leaders, she came to church with me for Father's Day. She sat beside me, and then a man came in and sat beside us. And when he did, I looked at her, and I crossed my eyes, and I said, "Wow." And she said, "I know. I can smell him from here. Do you want to move?" I said, "No, let's just sit here." And when I said that, as clearly as I'm speaking, a voice spoke to me and said, "This is the man you were writing about this week." I called Lee Black, or actually we met the next Tuesday to write again. I walked in and I said, "Lee, we've got to rewrite that first verse." And of course, the usher had asked him to leave. I said, "Let's write it the way it should be." And by the way, I shook hands and was friendly with the guy at church after the Lord convicted me. And so the first verse of this song, and the chorus, if you don't mind me telling you, he saw those around him move as he sat down, as the music softly played Amazing Grace. Last night's fall off the wagon left bruises on his face. He felt a hand on his shoulder, thought he'd hear, "Come back when you're sober." But instead, a friendly voice said, "We're glad you're here. Welcome to the First Church of Mercy, where the doors of love swing open wide. No matter who you are, no matter where you've been, you can come inside. Welcome to the altar of forgiveness, where the fallen can fall and tears are wiped away. Welcome to the First Church of Mercy. Have a seat on the front row of grace."
That's where the great songs come from.
If we don't write songs that touch our hearts, we will not write songs that touch their hearts. If we don't write songs that make them cry or make ourselves cry, there will be no tears in the audiences within the next few years. In the same way, if when I'm writing my fun songs, if I'm not laughing as I'm writing it, they're not going to laugh.
Yeah.
And so if I give joy to myself, I give it to others. If I bring inspiration to myself, I bring inspiration to others.
Mm-hmm. Well, Aaron, it's always great to see you, and we think of songs like 4 Days Late and What a Beautiful Day, and it's so nice to hear, so inspiring to hear that your heart is still in it.
I will not vote no if God says you've got 20 more years or 30 or whatever. But whether it's 5 or 50 more years, I'm on the leaving side. And that means I'm closer. And that means my heart needs to be closer.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what we need I've started writing a song yesterday, and it's called I'm waiting for the world to change, and they're waiting to see the change in me.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're living in a time where I do not take as strong a stand as I need to take. I think I have friends and family and a lot of peers that we're not standing as strong in the truth that we believe as we should. And there's a world that's watching, and they don't do what we tell them they ought to do. They do what they see truth in.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I'm sorry, I started another sermon. And I promise if I come to your church, I won't preach unless you ask me to. And I'll take up 2 offerings, one for humor and one for the serious. No, I'm kidding.
Well, that's a good deal. That's 2 for 1. That's
2 for 1.
That's pretty good.
I just thought of that. I think God gave that to me.
Very good. Aaron, it's always great to see you.
Pleasure to
We
be
want to
here.
thank you for being on Gospel Music today.
Thank you and Gene so much for what y'all do. Thank you.
Thank you.